Facts First presents. This veteran was always mean to his waitress. When he dies 7 years later, the unthinkable is revealed. Melina Salazar worked as a waitress at a restaurant in Brownsville, Texas for years. Anyone who has ever worked in the food service industry, you know that there are just some customers who are great and others that are not so great. Some that you can just barely deal with. Well, Melinda had a customer like that. The customer was an 89-year-old man named Walter Buck Swords. He was a loyal patron of Luby's Cafeteria. Buck always sat in Melina's section, and he always gave her a hard time. Now, the hard time he gave her, it wasn't the fun kind of ribbing and making jokes that regular customers and their servers have. He was really mean to this young woman. When Melina would bring him food, he would yell at her and send it back if it wasn't hot enough. She never got annoyed with him, though. She just did what the man asked. There were days when he came to the restaurant in a particularly foul mood. He would demand things, often curse at Melina. Still, she never let it bother her, and she never stopped smiling. She knew it was her job to serve her customers with a smile, and that was exactly what she did. Melina never had any heart-to-heart conversations with Buck, and she didn't even know that he knew her name. She knew a little bit about him, she knew his name, and she knew that he was a World War II veteran. The only reason that she knew that was because when he often yelled at her for giving him poor service or not cooking his food hot enough, he would tell her that he was a World War II veteran and he earned the right to complain after fighting so hard for his country. Each time he yelled or complained, Melina simply smiled at him and had a kind word for him. She never let his negativity and cruel words get to her. For 7 long years, Buck went to this restaurant. That's a long time for a waitress to wait on a grumpy customer with an offensive demeanor. One day Walter did not show up for his regular meal. Melina thought it was strange, but she assumed he had an appointment or maybe he just wasn't feeling well that day. After a few days, though, of Buck not coming to the restaurant, Melina found out why. Her longtime, cranky yet punctual customer died. The day after Melina heard the news, a lawyer showed up at the restaurant, and he told her that he had official business with her. Melina couldn't figure out why a lawyer would need to speak to her, but when the two sat down together, the lawyer told Melina that Buck was his client, and that made Melina wonder even more. Why would a man who clearly disliked her send a lawyer to see her after he passed away? The lawyer told her that Buck told him that each day he looked forward to his meal at Luby's. He told her about the waitress who always served him. He mentioned how warm, sweet, and friendly she always was. Melina was surprised by this. She always thought the man hated her. He was never nice to her. He never gave her a smile. She couldn't believe that he thought she was kind. After speaking for a few moments, Melina got some news that shocked her. The lawyer told her that Buck had left her something in his will. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. The lawyer told her that he was leaving her his 2001 Buick and $50,000 in cash. She couldn't believe her ears. Working as a waitress in a small cafeteria, Melina lived from week to week. She never had much money left over every week after she paid all of her bills. The fact that this man, who she assumed hated her, left her so much money, it brought tears to her eyes. She couldn't believe that she had made such an impact on him. Melina's story should teach you to treat others with respect, even if you feel that you're not getting the same respect back. Melina could have been just as mean to Buck as he was to her. Instead, she chose to be kind, and that really paid off for Melina. This veteran was always mean to his waitress, but then he died 7 years later, and the unthinkable was revealed, and it changed this waitress's life forever. Help us share this story around the world by clicking that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos.